We start new article, heat capacity. It is also called as thermal capacity. Now, what is a thermal capacity? It is the quantity of heat required to rise the temperature of body through 1 degree is called as heat capacity. Now, formula we can write. If I consider here delta Q is the quantity of heat given to the body and delta T is the rise in temperature, then heat capacity is given by formula delta Q by delta T. Now here, heat capacity, delta Q divided by delta T is the heat capacity. Then we can write its CGS and SI unit. CGS unit, unit of Q, calorie, unit of temperature, degree Celsius. SI unit, joule per Kelvin or joule Kelvin raised to -1. Dimension. So dimension you can write, dimension of this Q is L2 M1 T minus 2 divided by here K raised to 1. So after solving this, the dimension is coming L2 M1 must be there. L2 means M1 L2 T minus 2 K raised to -1. So this is the dimension. Then after that, relation between this heat capacity and specific heat. For that, we consider both the formulas. Heat capacity is given by this formula. So equation number 1. The specific heat is given by formula Q upon M delta T. Only here M is extra in this specific heat. Otherwise, H and S near about same formulas. From equation 1 and 2, we can write them. Delta Q is equal to M S into delta T. So we have written a formula of delta Q by using a specific heat. And by using this H, we can write delta Q is equal to H into delta T. And by solving both, we get this formula. H is equal to M into S. So this delta T get cancelled. Listen. So here delta Q we can write by using equation 1 and it is H delta T is equal to M S delta T. Then this delta T, we are shifted to the right hand side. So we get H is equal to M S delta T by delta T. It is get cancelled. So we get H is equal to M into S. So specific heat capacity is equal to mass into specific heat. Is the formula of heat capacity. I hope everyone understood how to get this formula. Now one problem given in your textbook. So here, find thermal capacity or thermal heat capacity for copper. So mass is given and specific heat is given. So the formula mass multiplied by specific heat. So we have taken multiplication only, we get a thermal capacity or specific heat capacity. 58 joule per degree Celsius. Generally, you can see units in degree Celsius. But you remember, joule per degree Celsius is not the SI unit. It is generally used unit. And Joule is the SI unit. Degree Celsius is not the SI unit of the temperature, that you know. Now let's see question based on this. The first question is, heat capacity of a body depends on. See this question carefully and try to recall the concept. Everyone having idea about specific heat capacity, mass into specific heat. So it depends on mass and it depends on specific heat. Specific heat means nature of substance. So both A and B are correct. So more appropriate is B. So the correct answer for this question is option D. Now next one is CGS unit of heat capacity is. So heat capacity formula is delta Q by delta T. So here delta Q means heat unit divided by temperature unit. And obviously it is calorie per degree Celsius. It is calorie and here it is degree Celsius. Calorie divided by degree Celsius. Instead of CGS, if it is SI, SI unit is, so here it is joule per Kelvin. So B is the right option if it is as SI unit. Now next article is calorimetry. Now what is calorimetry? The branch of science which deals with the measurement of heat is called as calorimetry. So where we measure the heat, that branch is the calorimetry. And the apparatus we use for that is the calorimeter. In 10th standard also you already learned chapter, means concept related to this, as well as you already solved the problem related to this calorimetry. Now here, perfect calorimeter completely prevent heat from flowing to its surrounding. Means inside to outside, heat is not flowing. At thermal equilibrium, all the material reach same temperature. Means when two bodies having a different temperature, they are coming in contact. Then after some time, they are in thermal equilibrium. Means they can attain same temperature. And here, no energy flows into or out of the calorimeter, means container. Here, the law of conservation of energy leads to principle of calorimetry. Now, here the principle of calorimetry is very important. What is principle? Now, principle of calorimeter that we have to learn. So here, if two bodies at two different temperature, they are coming in contact. When two bodies having a different temperature, they are coming in contact, then after some time, both the body attain same temperature. Means they are coming in thermal equilibrium. Now, in that case, the hotter body lost the heat and colder body gained the heat. Now, we can say that until they attain thermal equilibrium, if heat is not lost by any other process, then we can write here heat lost by hot body is equal to heat gained by cold body. This is the principle. Means whatever the heat lost by hot body, the heat is the gain by the cold body. And this is the principle. And by using this principle, we have to obtain formulas. Now consider here. Consider hot body of mass M1. See here, one body is there, hot body, whose mass is M1. So I consider here hot body whose mass is M1. So its temperature is T1 degree Celsius. So for the body 1, mass 1, temperature is T1 and specific heat is S1. What I consider, a body 1 whose mass is M1, temperature T1, and specific heat S1. Now, second point. This body is in thermal contact with another body of mass M2. In second body whose mass is M2. Okay, when first body is in coming contact with the second body whose mass is M2. Now we can consider the second body having a temperature T2 and specific heat S2. This is a specification about the second body. Now, when they are coming in contact with each other, then what happens? It gives a new body. Means it gives us common thermal equilibrium is attained, and we get a common temperature of both the bodies T3. In the body 1 and body 2 having a temperature T3, same temperature they attain. So here T3 is the common temperature attained by both the bodies. Now here we can write heat loss by body. Hot body means body 1. Body 1 is the hot body. Heat loss by hot body is. Now by using a formula of specific heat, we know that specific heat is equal to Q upon M into delta T. So Q is equal to, we can write M as delta T is the formula for heat lost. Now heat lost by hot body is equal to, hot means first body. So instead of mass M1, instead of specific heat S1, and temperature. Now initially the body 1 having a temperature T1, you can see here. And then after some time it attained a temperature T3. So T1 minus T3 is the heat lost. So you can see here T1 minus T3. Now after some time, another cold body means attain a thermal equilibrium, means heat lost by the body 1 and heat gained by the body 2. So we can write, so heat gained by cold body. Again same formula, second body having a mass M2, so M2, specific heat S2, and loss of the temperature. Now second body you can see here having a temperature T2, and then it attained a temperature T3. Now here it's a second body is a cold body. Yeah? So T2 is a less as compared to T3 because this body is a cold body. So it gained the temperature. So T3 minus T2 I written here. So difference in the temperature basically. Okay. So T3 minus means larger minus smaller. So larger is T3. So T3 minus T2. Now we can write heat loss by hot body is equal to heat gain by cold body. By the principle of calorimetry, you know that heat lost is equal to heat gain by cold body. So heat lost by hot body is equal to heat gain by cold body. So we have written the corresponding formulas. So M1 S1 is into T1 minus T3 in a bracket. Now we can expand this term. Now we can write M1 S1 into T1 minus M1 S1 into T3 is equal to, we can write M2 S2 T3 minus M2 S2 T2. Now by solving this, we have to write a formula of T3. We have to write formula of T3. Now we can do one thing here. So I can write M1 S1 T1. So this I can transfer to this side. So plus M2 S2 T2. Then here I can transfer your T3 term to one side. So M2 S2 T3 minus plus M1 S1 T3. Now T3 we can take here common. So M2 S2 plus M1 S1 into T3, and this as it is. So by using that, we can write a formula of common temperature T3 is equal to, so M1 S1 T1 plus M2 S2 T2 divided by M2 S2 plus M1 S1. So this is the expression for common temperature attained by both the bodies. I hope everyone understood how we get this.